Okay, let's go.
Have you ever blown up a trading account? Or maybe just felt like you're constantly taking one step forward and two steps back in the markets? If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. Today we're diving into Tom Hugard's book, Best Loser Wins, and it's a story that pretty much flips everything you think you know about trading right on its head.
All right, so let's set the scene. Picture a young Tom Hugard, brimming with confidence. He's looking at the Dow Jones hitting an all-time high, and he thinks, this is it? This has to be the top. So he makes what he feels is a total genius move, and he shorts the market, absolutely convinced he's about to make a fortune. Well, the market, as you know, doesn't care about anyone's genius idea. He gets a margin call, and instead of cutting his losses like he should have, he does what so many of us have done. He doubles down. He prays for a miracle, the miracle never showed up, and poof, 2 months of his salary were just gone. Now that catastrophic loss, that pain, it wasn't the end of his story. In fact, it was the very beginning. It forced him to look at trading, and more importantly at himself, in a completely new light.
So after his own spectacular failure, Tom gets a job as a broker, and for years he has this front row seat, watching incredibly smart people, we're talking doctors, analysts, even people with PhDs in economics, just lose money, over and over again. But in all that noise, he started to notice a pattern. The real winners, the ones who were consistently profitable, they weren't the smartest ones in the room. They were the ones who could handle the most psychological pain.
But just knowing that wasn't enough. To really get it, to truly change, he had to completely break down first. And that moment didn't happen in front of a trading screen. It happened far, far away, on a pretty grueling journey of self-discovery. By 2009, Tom was done. He was emotionally drained, financially wrecked. He just walked away from trading. He decided to walk the Camino de Santiago, a 500-mile trek across Spain. He was alone, barely sleeping, and he wasn't just carrying a backpack, he was carrying the massive weight of all his failures.
And it was on that walk that he met an ex-Navy SEAL who told him something that changed absolutely everything. The SEAL said, "Training is nothing. The will to act is everything. We train our brains so when chaos hits, we don't flinch, we execute."
And right then, it just clicked. That was the light bulb moment. Tom realized trading has almost nothing to do with finding the perfect setup on a chart. It's all about reprogramming your own brain to handle the sheer chaos of the market, to execute your plan perfectly, especially when you're under extreme pressure. So this huge realization led him to a core philosophy that honestly sounds completely backward at first, but it's the secret to his success. It's what he calls the best loser paradox. Okay, now check this out, because this is where it gets really fascinating. Look at this chart. When Tom came back to trading, you'd probably think his win rate shot up, right? Wrong. His win rate actually dropped. But look at his profits. They absolutely exploded. I mean, how is that even possible? Well, the answer is right here, in this paradox. The best traders in the world aren't the best at predicting the future. They're not the best at being right. They are the best at being wrong. They are the best losers.
You see, most of us are chasing a total myth. We want that super high win rate, we want the glory of being right, we want those perfect entries. But the reality Hugard talks about is completely different. It's about asymmetric wins, where just one massive winner can wipe out a whole string of small losses. It's about controlling your emotions, and, maybe most importantly, just surviving long enough to be there for those huge wins.
So what's stopping most of us from getting there? Well, Tom argues that the real enemy isn't the market. The enemy is inside your own head. He points to 3 specific enemies of profit.
Number 1, your ego. That little voice in your head that just hates being wrong, the one that makes you hold on to a losing trade way too long. Number 2, your belief in your perfect analysis, which, let's be honest, the market could not care less about. And number 3, your deep-seated fear of pain, the fear of taking a loss, which stops you from cutting a trade that's clearly going against you. And Tom learned this lesson in the most painful way possible. He once lost 12,000 pounds on a single trade. It wasn't because the setup was bad, it was because his ego got in the way. He held on, hoping and praying it would turn around.
Now get this. Just a month later, he sees the exact same setup. But this time, he trades with a completely different mind. No ego, no emotion, just pure, cold discipline. And the result? A 120,000-pound profit. Same trader, same setup, totally different mindset. See, instead of letting that huge 12,000-pound loss destroy him, Tom turned it into his greatest teacher. He studied it, not just the charts, but his own feelings. Why didn't I get out? What was I afraid of?
That painful loss became a case study in his own psychology.
So, how do you actually do this? How do you become a best loser? The book lays out a brutally honest and incredibly effective playbook. And these are the unsexy, anti-guru rules that actually work. First up, the 1% rule. You never ever risk more than 1% of your capital on any single trade. Your number one job is just to stay in the game. Second, journal like a professional. And I don't mean just your trades. Journal your emotions, your fear, your greed, your overconfidence, find the patterns. And third, embrace the power of small. Chase longevity in the market, not a quick adrenaline rush.
The whole philosophy, really, is built on this one powerful concept: asymmetry. This is the real edge. It's a strategy where you accept a bunch of small, controlled, totally manageable losses, because you know you're just waiting for that one massive home run that will pay for all the small losses and then some.
So if you're out there still looking for that perfect indicator, that holy grail trading system, you're looking in the wrong place. The simple, brutal truth of Best Loser Wins is that the ultimate edge isn't out there in the market somewhere. It's inside of you. It's mastering yourself.
And that leaves us with one last, very provocative question that really cuts to the core of this whole thing. It's not about how good you are at winning, it's about this: how good are you at losing? Because until you master that skill, winning will always be just a matter of luck.